These 8 anime pushed boundaries so far beyond what Overflow ever dared to show. They literally broke the internet, got banned from streaming platforms, and in one case was so extreme it could only be broadcast as audio-only radio on Japanese television. We're talking about shows that make Overflow look like Saturday morning cartoons. Let's establish our baseline first. Overflow premiered in January 2020 and immediately blurred the line between ecchi and hentai, with its 7-minute episodes packed with fan service featuring Kazushi and the Shirakawa sisters. The show gained massive traction precisely because it dared to cross that thin line most ecchi anime carefully avoid. But as spicy as Overflow was, these 8 anime took things to levels that shocked even the most seasoned fans. First up is Redo of Healer, the 2021 anime that became the most controversial series in recent memory. While Overflow played with suggestive themes, Redo of Healer went nuclear with its explicit depiction of sexual violence and revenge-driven narrative. The story follows Kaoru, a healer who rewinds time to get revenge on those who tortured him, and his methods are absolutely brutal. We're talking graphic sexual violence with disturbing levels of detail, where the protagonist's actions aren't just unpunished, they're actually rewarded by the narrative. The controversy exploded so intensely that international licensors like Funimation, Hulu, Netflix, and Crunchyroll flat out banned it from their platforms. The series faced censorship or outright bans in Germany, China, and several other countries. Even the author tried to get an English translation published, but revealed that despite receiving several inquiries about buying the English version, overseas publishers refused it. That's when you know you've gone too far, when even publishers won't touch your work. Redo of Healer's infamy pales next to what happened with Interspecies Reviewers in 2020. This anime about adventures reviewing monster girl brothels seemed relatively tame at first, but things escalated quickly. The series was so explicit that Funimation dropped it after just 3 episodes, stating it falls outside their standards. Then Tokyo MX canceled its broadcast entirely. Here's where it gets interesting. After being canceled, fans rallied so hard that Interspecies Reviewers shot up to become the #2 highest rated anime on my anime list, surpassing legendary series that had held those spots for years. The cancellation actually made it more popular than it ever would have been otherwise. Prior to removal, it was doing okay, but wasn't a heavy hitter. After Funimation's decision, people started giving it extremely high ratings in protest, creating one of the most bizarre success stories in anime history. School Days, the 2007 psychological horror, is still traumatizing viewers today. While not technically ecchi in the traditional sense, this series pushed boundaries in ways that had real-world consequences. The infamous ending features a schoolgirl going on a violent rampage with graphic depictions that were so intense, all 5 Japanese TV stations preempted the final episode due to a real-life axe murder that occurred around the same time. The replacement broadcast became legendary for all the wrong reasons. Instead of the finale, viewers got scenic footage, including shots of a very nice boat, which spawned the nice boat meme that anime fans still reference today. The irony? The actual School Days ending featured the main characters sailing off into the sunset on a boat, making the censorship accidentally prophetic. Then we have Seikon no Quaser from 2010, an anime so absurd it almost comes full circle to being genius. The series features a power system where warriors called Qwasers gain strength by consuming soma, a milk-like vital energy that comes from women's breasts. Yes, you heard that right. The entire plot revolves around this concept, with scenes that have been called too vulgar for television and completely shattered whatever morality Japanese TV anime once had. The show ran for 24 episodes and somehow maintained this premise throughout, creating some of the most bizarre fan service sequences ever animated. It's the kind of series that makes you question how it even got greenlit, let alone lasted 2 full seasons. High School DXD represents a different type of controversy, mainstream success with problematic elements, While it's become a staple of the ecchi genre with over 7.8 million copies in circulation and 4 successful seasons, it's also been banned in countries like New Zealand due to its heavy sexualization of high school-aged characters. The series walks a fine line between acceptable fan service and content that many consider inappropriate, especially when exported internationally. The global reach of anime has created new challenges for series like this. What might be acceptable in Japanese culture doesn't necessarily translate well to international audiences, leading to regional bans and streaming restrictions that continue to this day. But if you think these shows went too far, wait until you hear about Nucatashi, the 2025 anime that broke new ground in censorship history. This latest creation from the high school DXD studio was so explicit that Tokyo MX1 had to broadcast it as audio only, replacing all visuals with a single image of a bird on a beach. They literally turned an anime into a radio drama because the content was too extreme for television. The premise involves an island where premarital sex is mandated by law, and the protagonist's goal of waiting until marriage creates the central conflict. Given this setup, it's not surprising that Japanese broadcasting couldn't handle the visual content, but the solution of audio-only broadcasts represents an unprecedented level of censorship in anime history. The impact of these controversial series extends far beyond their initial broadcasts. The success and notoriety of shows like Overflow and Redo of Healer have influenced the entire industry, opening doors for other series with mature themes. We're seeing this shift with adaptations of Chainsaw Man and other properties that bring violence, profanity, and adult content to the forefront of anime. This evolution reflects a growing acceptance of mature content in anime, but it also raises important questions about artistic freedom versus harmful messaging. Supporters argue that fiction has always reflected humanity's darkest aspects, pointing to series like Berserk and Monster as examples of disturbing content being part of powerful storytelling. They emphasize audience responsibility and the existence of content warnings. Critics counter that shows like Redo of Healer can normalize abuse or desensitize viewers to violence, especially when exported globally, where cultural contexts differ significantly. The recent UK regulatory changes affecting anime advertising show how seriously some countries are taking these concerns, with the Advertising Standards Authority removing high school DXD promotions under new Online Safety Act guidelines. The ecchi versus hentai debate continues to rage among fans. Some argue that series like Overflow and Redo of Healer cross the line entirely and should be classified as hentai rather than ecchi. Others maintain that they represent the natural evolution of the genre, pushing boundaries that have existed since Harenchi Gakuen launched in 1968 as the first modern ecchi manga. What's clear is that these 8 anime didn't just push boundaries, they obliterated them. From Overflow's mainstream success, despite explicit content, to Nukatashi's audio-only censorship, each series represents a different approach to controversial material. Some achieved cult status through cancellation, others sparked global debates about content regulation, and a few literally redefined what's possible in animated entertainment. The anime industry continues evolving, with streaming platforms, international regulations, and changing social attitudes, all influencing what creators can produce and distribute. These controversial series serve as landmarks in that evolution, showing both the potential and the pitfalls of pushing creative boundaries in animation. Whether you view them as artistic expression or problematic content, there's no denying these anime left their mark on the industry and sparked conversations that continue today. They prove that sometimes the most controversial content generates the most discussion, for better or worse.